Oh my. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. Oh look, they're cheering because we're both wearing yellow.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all coming into our live studio, huge auditorium podcast auditorium. This is ABCD, American-born Chatty Desi. I'm going to start right in and introduce my co-host here, who I can definitely say is full of magic because his name actually anagrams to Major Mana. Omar Najam, ladies and gentlemen. Omar Najam. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everyone.
There they are. Okay, yeah. There they are.
Take a sec. Thank you.
They're on Twitch. They've got like 2 seconds of delay when you see it before they hear you, so that's why their applause is a little delayed.
Totally.
And I would like to introduce my co-host. Every time you download an app and have AI make art for you, he's actually the man making the art that the AI takes credit for. It's Sandeep.
Great. Yeah. So I'm ruining I'm ruining things for concept artists everywhere is what you're saying?
Yeah. But you are doing it is still the work is still going to a human.
That's
it's
true.
Just
Right. So, but I'm the one that they could murder and then still then their lives would be fine. Okay.
Arguments on both sides. Absolutely, yeah.
Can I just real quickly? I'm just really proud of my intro.
You anagrammed.
I anagrammed, and you're Major Mana. Like that is a great anagram, dude. For you, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Did you already know that you had that anagram as your?
No, I didn't know I had that one. I had when I was in high school. I think I used one of my screen names was a different anagram. I hadn't, and it was worse. It was much worse.
Okay, I won't look for that one.
That you're like, this one makes sense. Mine didn't.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, I was just hoping you'd be more impressed. Anyway, our show, ABCD, American-born Chatty Desis, is a podcast slash live stream where Omar and I talk about, just defying the laws of being brown and raised by immigrant parents by embarking down a creative path. We're stiff-arming STEM, right, to become artists. And, often we have amazing guests on who are also Desi right-brained rebels, or at least pursue creative and artistic pursuits to pick their brains about their creative life journeys. And today is one of those where we have a wildly talented guest, a game master, writer, streamer, and the main creative force behind our exciting upcoming project, DesiQuest. I think it's exciting. Jasmine, that bronze girl, Bhullar. Jasmine.
Horns.
Yeah. It's definitely better than the booze that I got. It's still going.
Well, you're taking jobs from concept artists, Sandeep.
Settle down. It says here Jasmine says stuff in my...
Do I say stuff?
It says... Yep, we're waiting for you to say stuff.
I look forward to the cancellation of this show after my inflammatory remarks inevitably turn the good graces of the people against us. Oh! There!
Wow,
that was quick. Equal.
Man, they turned real fast.
That was quick. Quick reminder to everybody. Speaking of quick stuff, DesiQuest is the show that brought all of us together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The cornerstone of our vast and potent friendship.
Potent. Yeah. Potent for sure.
So we're going to be discussing a lot of that kind of stuff tonight. And also, we're live right now, as we are on most Sundays on EffinFunny's Twitch. But for the first time ever, folks, you can listen to this show on podcast form pretty much everywhere, which is very exciting. We're talking Apple Podcasts. We're talking Spotify. We're talking Stitcher. We're talking Google Podcasts. Are we done? No, I'm not done yet. We're also talking Amazon Music.
Damn.
Check us out on all of those places. Leave us a very kind rating. We'd very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I've heard of all those companies that want to take over the world. So it's great that our podcast is finally on them.
That means we will be a part of their glorious ascent to the global throne.
Dream.
The way you put that is...
Personally, I can't wait.
I know you're saying it presented like a joke, but we can hear between the lines where you're like, let's...
I cannot wait to sell out, you guys.
Personally, I've been waiting for the sellout.
Yeah, so you can... it's fun. I spent all Tuesday basically... like pressing all the buttons to make sure that we were on all the things on all the Apple podcasts and all that stuff. So now it's available. Go download us there. So what is this show? People are probably asking themselves. Well, it's a show kind of in 3 acts. First, we're going to check in with your chakras. Okay, that's what we're going to start out with. We're going to see how how everything's aligning for you, Jasmine. And then we're going to do the Punchy Punch, which is 5 topical news stories that caught our eye. And then we're going to say goodbye to the podcast and jump over to a little live stream only hangout where we play a game of top 10 and we talk about the podcast listeners behind their back. So that's basically the show. Quick hello to folks in chat, mostly to some poetry nerd who said that they're impressed with my with my anagram. So that's, I think, maybe the only person that matters to me right now. Honestly,
it's a very good anagram, but now that I've been pushed to say it.
Yeah, it
sounds disingenuous.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel great.
All right, let's move on to
I was really excited when I found it, Omar. Fuck.
If I get it as a tattoo, will it make anything better?
Yeah, it'll make it a lot better. Yep.
Okay.
100%.
Well, great. Well, instead of thinking on that, let's move on to our first segment. Let's get to our chakra check-in.
Oh.
There's the sound. Jasmine, are you ready for these questions?
I'm gonna do my best. I don't know much about chakras, so I'm gonna do what I can.
Well, you know how to pronounce it, so you're starting off pretty great.
Already a top 10 host. We're starting off with our sacral chakra right now, our lower abdomen.
I said your ass chakra, right?
No, we're skipping the ass one. We're skipping the taint one. So we're only going to do 4 chakras. We've been told, we've been given some feedback. Doing all 7, people can't handle it. They can't handle the extended all 7 chakras. So we're going to cut down. We're going to do 4 of our favorite chakras.
We're going to stay focused.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
4 solid.
We're skipping up to that belly button.
Yeah, we're skipping the butt and we're heading up. So Jasmine, what are you juggling right now, and how do you continue to stay creative while working on several different projects and managing your emotions in these trying times?
Yeah, it's the emotional center, the svastisthana chakra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I try to talk to myself the way I would talk to other people.
Oh,
that's hard.
It's very hard.
I do not do that well.
It's taken a lot of practice, and I actually got a tip about it from my therapist years ago that I still use, which is sometimes when I have a very mean inner monologue and I get down on myself for not performing the way I want to perform or not being able to meet my own expectations for myself, I try to keep one visible, but I take a photo of myself as a small child, and I imagine that, I'm going to get emotional, I imagine that what I'm saying to myself, I'm saying it to her.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
That forces me to check myself because I would never talk to, Yeah.
So you keep a photo of yourself as a small child, is it on your computer screen, right?
It's usually in my planner. Yeah, because I'm a hard copy kind of person, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and when you're like, oh, you fucking idiot, you blew it. You imagine yourself saying that to this little girl.
Yeah.
Damn, that's great.
It forces me to protect that child, and that is my childlike center. That's where my creativity comes from. Mm-hmm. And the way that my therapist used to do it is he used to take a small child's chair, and every time I was in one of these negative spirals, he would put the chair there and say that to her.
Oh, wow,
that's very good.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. A lot of the time I would end up crying because, once again, I would never talk to that little girl like that. And I tear up thinking of it now because I am that little girl, just like you are that little boy, and Omar, you're that little boy. And it's like, if we wouldn't talk to our precious children selves like that, why do we talk to our adult selves that way?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like the level up from the I talk to myself like I talk to other people. Like that's the next level version of that. I don't think I've ever heard that or phrased that way, because I've heard the other version where it's like, yeah, you know, you wouldn't talk to like, talk to yourself like you talk to your friends. Like,
Yeah.
if you're having a rough day or whatever, or like, you know, beating yourself up for making a bad decision, it's like, well, what would you say to your friend? You'd be like, you'd encourage them, you'd show them like, oh, there's a lot of things that you did well, and this is what you can learn from. You know, there's like things that you would say, but like, man, your inner child basically, or your child self, that I haven't really thought about. That sounds almost scary to me, because I feel like there's like ways in which I'd be, I don't know, like, oh man. I feel like I'm like, have I just been abusive to my child self this whole time?
Yes.
Right.
Like,
The answer is probably yes.
I'm an inner child abuser, is what you're trying to tell me, Jasmine?
I was too. And anytime I think I'm a failure or a loser, I imagine like telling my child self like, oh, you're going to grow up to be a loser. And I naturally say more positive things about myself because I don't want that kid to be discouraged. And it's weird because that's me.
Right.
But we're naturally more protective and kinder to our childhood selves than we are to our adult selves, right?
Right.
Right. Man, that's great. So kind of jumping back to the beginning of Omar's question, like, is there a lot that you are like right now as the year is winding up, like, are you juggling a ton of stuff right now? And do you find yourself succeeding in managing your emotions in this way, or are you slipping at all as the year winds down?
I think everyone slips, right? Like from time to time.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that because I'm definitely slipping. So
Yeah. And I think like as far as juggling goes, it's our industry is a very interesting one, right? Because it's an industry completely predicated on momentum. You have to have momentum. And if you are perceived as someone that is happening, that is on the rise, that is going places, then more opportunities come your way and you will go places. And so usually when you're busy is when you want to continue to be busy, even though you maybe just wrapped something big, and what you should do is rest, right?
Right.
And take that and combine it with the fact that most of us who are in entertainment are multiple hyphenates, right?
Yeah.
Like some of us are like actors, voice actors, writers, you know, do stand up, do improv, and we're constantly doing multiple things to pay the bills. And so then you have to start to choose between which gigs or which, you know, the sort of busy you want to be. Because I think the inclination for a lot of people in this industry is to do everything, take every gig you get. And so, yeah, I think that's what I've been juggling with, and that's what I've been struggling with. The fear of like, if I say no to this, does this mean I'll never work again? You know?
Yeah.
Is this my only shot, you know? Am I giving up an opportunity that could be a huge one? Is this the one? Is this the big one, you know? And so I think like, yeah, that's what I've been juggling is personal time and time with loved ones versus taking on every opportunity I can possibly get in the hopes that I'll continue working through next year.
Right.
Yeah, like, I think saying no is so hard, right? That is such a challenge, because you never know. You just never know. How do you do that? How do you say no to things? Do you talk to your inner child? do you look at the chair and go like, do you want to play here?
Should I do
like,
this?
What do you,
yeah.
That part I haven't figured out.
You haven't figured out. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you never really know the answer, you know?
Well, I'm glad you didn't figure it out before DesiQuest, before I asked you to do that. Would you like to sort of like share where you're at with that, and like maybe specifically give me and Omar like any sort of a head start over Reka and Anjali? Would be great.
With DesiQuest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Any
a hint
tips?
as to like how to beat like all the puzzles.
Yeah.
Like a list of NPCs like in order that we'll encounter, and like
Right? It's
They're like immunities.
So funny because like I got to play with Anjali at PAX Unplugged and realized immediately I was like, oh, I know how to break this player.
Oh God, Jesus, that's
Is that
sadistic.
weird? Like I could tell right away. I was like, oh, she likes to be like very effective.
Oh, we're so fucked.
combat, right?
Oh,
like she likes to
no.
feel like she's doing things. And I was
Yeah.
like, so if all I have to do is like create a
Yeah.
boss that, you know, locks her down or crowd controls her in some way, and
Oh my
I think
gosh.
like
Wow, like puts her in like a
I was
stasis
thinking-
of some kind, like where she just can't use any.
Okay.
Oh boy.
like, oh, you're banished to another plane
Oh
until
god.
like the boss casts banish on you for 10 rounds of combat. I'm pretty sure like we would finally see Anjali break.
I was gonna say I feel like she would like just walk.
Probably.
So just to give some like high level context to folks that might be listening in for the first time. DesiQuest, maybe give a little bit of a rundown of like, I know you've pitched it a million times before, but like you were really the obviously the sort of the chief creator on this thing. This was your baby, your vision. So just tell folks a little bit about it.
Yeah. So I wanted to play D&D with a table full of South Asians and kind of showcase our culture through it, and kind of talk about, or create an environment where people can ask questions about their own culture in a way that didn't feel like admitting some kind of fault or weakness. And that's kind of where DesiQuest came from, was this like sort of desire to make something with a bunch of Desi people, because it doesn't happen very often that we get to work together. And there's something that has like weighed on my mind for a long time, like because I actually remember watching, I think it was Late Night by Mindy Kaling, and she makes a comment about how one of the characters in that movie is a part of a writer's room for a late night talk show, and he accuses her of being a diversity hire, and she's like, yeah, but you're one of the writer's sons. Like, at least I had to be the most qualified woman of color. What did you have to do? Be born?
Oh dang.
And I was like,
Posterized.
oh snap. Like, and it made me think about it, to that, like, how much networking, how much knowing people, how much being friends with people, forming connections helps people come up in this industry. And the issue with a lot of diversity-based hiring is you're choosing one. You're choosing one Asian, one African American, one plus size person. You're choosing like one. So we never get to form up like Voltron the way other demographics do, because we're very rarely ever put in rooms together. And I was like, man, imagine if we were. Imagine if we all started being put on projects together.
It's such a
and
simple
we could
thing,
help
but-
each other out, right? Like we could put each other on for job ops, and we could hire each other, and we could recommend each other, and we could help each other get agents or, reps and stuff like that, and come up. And then maybe we could be seen a little bit more on screen and in different arenas. And yeah, like I was kind of proven right with that, because it started with Janina. I got to play in a game with Janina, and Janina was immediately like, let me start a group chat. Yeah, Janina Gavankar. Let me start a group chat with Anjali. We should all play D&D together. And like it was happening.
Anjali Bhamani.
No, thank you. You're right. You're right. These names, we should drop the full names. But I was
on the phone,
just like,
a telephone. Yeah.
but I was like, it's working. I was like, this is kind of what I thought was going to happen. And then it started happening. And, even the first time I played in a game with Sandeep Parikh,
You got it before I did.
Sandeep emailed me afterwards and was like, oh, we should have a meeting, and you should just like tell us what your deal is. What do you want? What are you working on? What have you been working on? And what are some projects do you think we can help you on? And I met Anand Shah, and we discussed it. And it was in some ways like, I feel very vindicated in that I was like, this is what I thought would happen.
Right.
If you got a bunch of Desi people together, we would start putting each other on and like helping each other and like filling the gaps, meeting each other in the middle, like to make something.
Yeah,
and then it happened.
1,000%. Yes, it happened, and then like it's afforded this podcast to happen. Like really, I think it also sort of allows us to like show the different shades of of South Asian we are, the different shades of brown. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, when you put a group together, it's like, oh, they're not a monolithic thing. like they actually have, there's variations in the culture, and people are from different parts of, India or Pakistan or whatever, and have totally different languages that they grew up with. And
ethnicities. Like,
ethnicities,
we literally have multiple ethnicities in India. And it was so destabilizing, like, coming here after living there, because my brother acts in LA, and hearing people tell him and tell me, like, you don't look Indian, and I was like, I lived there for half of my life and was never told that I did.
What gives you the authority?
It was like really weird. I was like, you're wrong, but okay.
that's wild.
Like, what else would I look like? It was so confusing, but it's because people, like, outsiders have this very singular idea of, like, oh, this is what a Desi person should look like, and you need to look like, I don't know, like Aziz Ansari. And if like people like me and Omar would never probably be cast for the same things, right? Because we don't look stereotypically Indian enough. Yeah.
Sorry, were you gonna say something, Omar?
No, I'm just agreeing. That happens.
That sounded like one of those, like,
I didn't book an audiobook thing one time because they were just like, you don't seem Indian enough, and I was just like, you can't see me. It's an audiobook. I'm just reading.
They're like, yeah, but we put the picture on the back of the book jacket or something, and it's so funny. I heard this great comedian the other day, Chris Grace. He's an Asian comedian, and he talks about, he has this bit about being Asian, and like how he's like there are folks he's gay, and he talks about, like, being in the gay community or on these apps, dating apps, and people will be like, looking for such and such, blah 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 blah, no Asians. Like, they'll write, like, no Asians.
Right. Yeah.
And he's just like, and he does this whole bit. It's so funny, but and funny, but also like one of those, like, oh my god, this is so true. Where he's like, no one, like, just because you're not attracted to me doesn't mean, like, you can't say, like, I looked at this guy and now I think all Asians I'm not attracted to. It's like, no one looks at, like, I'm gonna butcher the joke, but he's like, no one looks at, like, Mitch McConnell and is like, you know what, all white people, nah. Like, no, they'll see George Clooney and be like, yeah, that's a different person, and a different looking person. I think, white, like, he's like, no one ever says that about white people, because they can see, they can see differences within them. They're like Brad Pitt, versus whatever, Ted Cruz or something like that. Like, very different white people in terms of attractiveness. So, but not the same level of scrutiny, I guess, applies to Asians. You're just allowed to say, like, no Asians, and that's okay, and not hate speech. Like, how is that not hate speech? It kind of is.
It is. And it's so weird because, like I have been confused with Rekha before.
Really?
And me and Rekha do not look alike. And
that tweet did well.
It's like, how can you remember 30 white guys named Matt, Mark, and Kyle, but you put two Desi girls in something, or not even together, and people are like, oh my gosh, Rekha, I loved you on this show. And I'm like,
God damn it.
And same thing happened with me and Janina, where people were like, oh, you look like twins, or like at least sisters. And I was like, we don't. She's gorgeous, but we don't. And it's just funny because, like, once again, there can be 30 like white girls named Becca and Emily, and people will remember their hair color, everything about them, how cute their smiles are, and they'll make fan cams. But Desi people are not considered hot. We're not considered, like, there's I wish What's my controversial talk of the day? I wish people fetishized us the way they fetishize other races.
Wow.
I've never heard somebody be like, I have a thing for Indian people. I've never heard it in my life. I've never heard it.
I think, certainly South Asian males, I think, get pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? desexualized. This actually kind of flows pretty well into our moving up the chakras to the solar plexus, the manipura, the upper abdomen. This is where like the confidence center. So how confident are you how confident are you that like Desi representation in the world is changing, is getting better? Is it? Are you seeing that change? Is this the path, for us to start this differentiation so that people can see us differently? Like, are you seeing that?
I think it's changing. I think it's sheer determination, though, that's pushing that needle. And one of the things I'm most proud of when it comes to India is how little we're going to compromise. And so, do you know how, like, when you were in school, you thought, okay, these are the things I have to do to be cool. But then at some point when you got older, you realized, oh, wait, being yourself and not giving just not caring about what other people think is the number one way to truly be cool. Because then you are almost like a taste maker,
Yeah.
And I've noticed that shift in like even things like Bollywood. Like, when I was young, I used to be embarrassed to admit I watched Bollywood movies because people's entire thing was like, oh, they sing and they dance in the middle and it's durka 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 durka, and they would make fun of everything.
I love that song.
Right? They would make fun of everything
right.
to do with Bollywood cinema. And now RRR, which is not Bollywood, right? I think it's Tollywood.
It's Tollywood.
But regardless, the same Benny Lava and all of that wasn't Bollywood either. That was all South Indian and stuff, but people just lumped it all together, right? Like, oh, look at this stupid song. It sounds like he's saying Benny Lava. Look at the stupid... And now everyone is like on board, and we didn't compromise. Our country didn't compromise on anything.
Yeah,
we're still making movies in the same style. We're still having songs in movies. We're still having dance numbers in movies. Our movies are still incredibly emotional, right? Like, they're all based off of things like family, brotherhood, like, bonds between people. Like,
family.
We're very uncompromising in our vision, and yet now everyone else is catching up. Like, we didn't change that to get them to come.
I did like that Triple R did like a dance fight scene. Like, I love they were like, we're gonna keep the dance, and it's gonna be a fight scene too.
Yeah,
like, I
we're
loved
gonna
it.
fight with Bunga,
so
and it's just like, that checks out.
Like, it is the most Desi shit ever.
Yeah.
They did not like put out a movie that would appeal to the West. They put out a movie that would appeal to Desis, and everybody else was like, okay, wait, no, actually though, this is like really good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. Because
there's some magic with that.
I think that's why that movie felt fresh to people, though, is because it didn't compromise on its like, Bollywood, Tollywood roots. But it still was accessible, and the fucking fight choreography was unbelievable. It's like any, I mean, look, they were fighting with tigers, people. I mean, they're using tigers as nunchucks. I don't want to tell you, it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Are you watching anything right now? Like, do you have if folks are out there interested in checking stuff out that you're into, that maybe has some Desi representation? Is there anything? Or even like, what's like the the starter kit for someone interested in like jumping into Bollywood films? From
so you want to be Desi?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's kind of funny because like I don't watch that much Desi movies. My mom watches a lot of Punjabi movies, which are a very different, very different genre of film. And most of them involve me sitting there making fun of them while my mom watches them. She's a big fan of Diljit, if you all have heard of.
Got it. Yep. Got it.
Omar knows. Omar, you're Punjabi, right?
Yeah. My dad's Punjabi.
Yeah. So they're all about like young lad from a farming village goes to Canada, and becomes a single dad, and along the way marries a beautiful woman, and you're like, what? Who pitched this and how did it get made? But I kind of love it. I love that my mom enjoys them. I think like what is like a Desi starter kit?
Dosanjh. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes,
This
yes,
dude?
yes.
Yeah,
Diljit
okay,
Dosanjh. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very
him
popular.
up.
Very famous.
He's only 5'7". Yes. I love that.
There's hope.
I love that. Makes me so
Disney
happy.
people are usually not that tall, other than
No,
like
we're
what
not.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Hrithik Roshan's pretty fucking tall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got that height.
And he's got 2 thumbs.
What? Well, wait, we
Yeah,
all.
we'll go. I mean,
do you
like,
not have two
come-
thumbs?
No, like
on-
2 thumbs like attached
same
to each
hand?
other.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look up his thumbs.
What?
Yes, he claims like that's his lucky charm, and that's
Yeah.
why he's
Hell
been
yeah, of
so
course.
blessed in life. If you
You
look
will
up his
also-
thumbs,
yeah.
he has 2 thumbs on one hand.
You will not see. They
Oh,
cut around
wild.
it in the movies.
Yeah,
They
they have to
cut
do some
around it.
extensive,
Yeah.
some extensive editing. But if you look up Hrithik Roshan thumb,
Yeah,
you
I'm
will
seeing
see
it
it
now.
in HD vision.
This is
yeah,
blowing my mind right now.
yeah, yeah.
I
He
love
has
it. I love
2
that it's
thumbs
this-
on the same hand.
Wow, wild. Okay.
Yeah,
Learn
and they've
something new
asked.
every day
People have asked
about
him like,
Hrithik
"Why don't
Roshan
you get
specifically.
surgery?" And he's like, "Cause it's why my life has
Why
been
would-
so
yeah.
blessed. It's my good luck." Yeah,
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Why would I do that?
yeah.
Why do I take?
I don't know
take
where
away
that
what
came
makes me
from.
unique?
It's just such a random piece of. You were like Hrithik Roshan. I was like, "Have you seen his thumb?"
TBM in chat. Who has got 3 thumbs and is a movie star? This guy. Amazing.
That's really
Sick.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, for my starter kit, I would say 3 Idiots. I feel like is really
Ooh, good.
accessible.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like 3 Idiots. I like 3 Idiots.
If you're a sports fan,
Uh-huh.
then I'm totally blanking on the name of it, but the big cricket one.
Lagan?
Lagan.
Lagan.
Thank
You liked Lagan?
you. Did I like Lagan? I love sports movies, so I like Lagan. Am I a
okay.
bad person?
Lagan with a question mark was great. Lagan?
Lagan?
I think I remember this
you
now.
like
that
Lagan?
you kind of hate Lagan or something.
A little bit.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, hey, look, I don't know.
Okay,
I was like, I think I
was
watched
in
it when I was
India
like 16.
when it came
okay?
out. I was in India when it came out. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people felt like it was Oscar bait and that
Oh,
they
yeah.
made it that this wasn't the real movie about that really tackled like British occupation, that this was
Well,
the movie
Anand
that
agrees
they
with
thought.
you in chat. He says, I hate Lagan. So boring. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are like,
Fine.
oh, this is Oscar bait. Like they did it. This movie wasn't made to be entertaining. On the other hand, I was in the target age range for Ranga de Basanti. That was
Oh, wow.
very popular.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That was big.
Yeah, all the music was
Yeah.
big. It had such a fresh take on like talking about like independence and modernizing it for a new audience, and so that was
what
like
did
a
you
big
say
one.
you were? You were in the what for it?
I lived in India when or I was
Oh,
in the
you-
right age group for Ranga
Oh,
de
you were in the
Basanti.
age group. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
It cut out for me when you said that.
Because I
Um,
want to say I was like, you know how like when you're super young and optimistic,
Yeah, I remember those
No,
days.
but yeah.
That's
you know like the age where,
I've forgotten,
go-
but
where
yeah.
Ghost of
kids are
Christmas
still
Past.
saying I'm going to be the president,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
that that's like an unrealistic goal. You know that
Yeah.
age. I was that age when Ranga
Yeah.
de Basanti came out.
Mm.
So it was one of those things where like all of us, like everyone in my class was like, we're going to make the country better. And this is how we do it. You know, like there was like this
Yeah,
fervor
yeah.
around that movie. So that's like, and it does such a good job of like doing flashbacks and showing like, because for those of you who haven't seen it, this is my pitch to you to go watch it. It's about a bunch of kids in India making a documentary about freedom fighters, and it switches between them making the documentary and what the actual freedom fighters went through.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff like history repeats itself. Some of that stuff, including like police brutality and things like that, start coming back while they're making this documentary, and they're inspired by learning about these figures to like change things for themselves. So it's like it's actually really hip. And
It's
really
really
fresh.
good.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I'll
So
throw
you've seen-
mine.
I haven't seen it. I guess I gotta see it.
Oh, it's great. I might have it on DVD
yeah.
if you want to borrow that and have a DVD
I'm
player.
coming over. I'll just come over. It's fine.
Okay, great.
What are yours, Omar?
I'm gonna just throw out for all the '90s fans, just to round this out. Kahana Pyar Hai. It's
Okay.
got It's got a dance number on the beach, which you need. It's got a dance number in the club, which you need. It's got a friend that has one quirky thing. Her thing is at red light, she gets out and does something. And it also has like a gangster storyline that like is like from partition, we got separated, all this stuff happened, and it's now trickled down all the way to just this storyline. And it uses a phone in the most suspenseful way possible at the end. It's great. Check that one out. It's got everything you want out of a 90s Bollywood film.
And it's got, a star that has 3 thumbs, and which we discussed. So, good one. Did you guys... Cause you guys, I think, are a little bit younger than me, but Kuch Kuch Hote Hai was like huge when I was in college. Like huge, like it was just absolutely blew up. Like I think it was Kuch Kuch and then like followed by Tal. Were like
Tal was gigantic.
Tal was big.
Yeah.
Tal
That
was
soundtrack
big.
was like unbelievable, right?
This is gonna be more mine and Omar's generation. Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham.
Yeah, massive.
That was like...
Yeah, see, I'm old. I get
that
it.
influenced everything. It influenced how we dressed. It influenced our goals in life. It influenced, like that was like... We didn't even call it that name. We called it 3KG. And people would go see that movie in theaters like 8 times. Like it was that popular.
Yeah.
But for me, I never liked that movie as much as I liked Veer Zara. That was like my...
Oh, yeah.
I was so in love with that film. I just thought that was like, had the best music, had the best fashion, had a heartbreaking storyline also about the partition. We talk about the partition a lot because it was our country's version essentially of a genocide, right? So, but it's such a beautiful film about 2 people who fall in love and then are separated because but it's a beautiful film.
So there you go.
Gorgeous,
this is a good. I think
movie.
I think we nailed the starter kit, you guys. I feel really proud of ourselves about that.
We have a little bit of everything.
Shall we move up the chakras?
Let's do it. We're making our way up, moving on from 2 thumbs to the heart chakra, where the question I want to ask you, Jasmine, while we're talking about everything that's kind of happening, with passive language, what's happening in the space, let's move now to what are you actively doing? You're a streamer. Where did that love come from? Where did that love for streaming come from? How did you get your start?
The love for streaming, I think, came from... I started the way a lot of people do. I would open Twitch, and I just didn't see people that were making the kind of content I would watch, or, people that were in my demographic making content. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I very quickly got addicted to it because I realized I love having a live audience. Even now, I love being on stage. And that's the only other time I'm like, yes, I'm in my element, for someone who's so antisocial, I'm a huge introvert. There's something about there's this separation, and I feel really positively about engaging with people while that separation is there. Because if I'm on a
drink. Sorry. Every time Omar's cat feeder goes off, everybody has to drink. That's like that's the drinking game
it's
of
once
this
a week.
podcast.
When I drink water, are we supposed to drink alcohol?
And whatever you got, drink whatever you want.
I drink water.
It's just a drinking game. It's the ABCD drinking game. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I love it. I have an auto feeder too, so for a
It's
moment
a
I thought it was
lifesaver.
mine.
Oh, good of it. I don't know. It wasn't mine. I don't have a cat, so
We're gonna get you one, not a cat, an auto feeder.
just an auto feeder.
Yeah. For you, it's gonna dispense
I
like
would love that.
bujia, so you can have.
Oh my god, that'd be
I'm
amazing.
pretty sure
Mama's
you
Rotely.
could put bujia in a cat feeder. It's like
What's
a
You
bujia?
could. You
For me,
could.
is it the same as cerdo? What's bujia?
that dry stuff. The what is
Like
it?
some nasta.
Yeah, like the Haldiram's brand.
Yeah.
It comes in the plastic packaging, and it's like deep fried.
Like it's like
stuff that
Indian,
uncles
Indian
eat
snack
with
mix,
their beer.
as they would say. Is that what it is?
Huh?
Like snack mix?
Yeah,
snack mix, huh?
namkeen.
Okay.
I've heard it called namkeen as well.
Got it. We call it chevro. I think. I don't know if it's the same thing, but that's That's the
It
word
sounds
that my
French.
parents say.
Chèvre.
Chèvre. Or chèvre. Or chèvre.
Le
Yeah.
chevron.
Chèvre. Yes. It is. We are very influenced by the French in Gujarat. That is to be sure.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? It's an Indian snack.
Oh my god, we're
Just-
such nerds.
Curious how is your love of streaming evolved? Do you still love streaming? Do you
Yes.
have a? You do.
I do. I love the process of streaming. I don't love the business of streaming, you know. But that's how I feel about like a lot of industries I'm in right now,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the unfortunate part of a lot of the projects that we do is you have to look at the math of like, how do we make money off this, or how do we make this grow?
Right.
How do we get eyes on this? How do we, you know? And a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't care about numbers. And to that, I always answer yes, because anyone that's ever made something and put it out in the world is like, gosh, I hope no one ever watches this. Like, there's a part of you that
I treat it like a golf score. The lower, the better. You know, like get those numbers down. Like we have 97 in chat right now. No, that's too high. Let's get that down to 4. That's how the true artists are doing it.
right?
No.
Like,
Exclusive content.
yeah, every artist since the dawn of time has wanted to be appreciated in their time.
Right.
And I know that for a lot of streamers or a lot of people don't think that like streaming is performing. And to me, it's like, well, if you don't feel like it is, you're probably not doing it right.
Right. Yeah.
Like it is a performance. I think very carefully about like how like what games make for good streams, what content makes for a good stream. And there are video games I play off stream because I think really carefully about like, well, what will keep this interesting, what will make this interesting. But balancing that against, I guess, like my soul is hard, because we live in a time where I don't know. There's only so many ways to monetize stuff, and so
Yeah.
the pressure becomes, how do I continue to do this and continue to grow, or continue to monetize it in a way that's good for me and my brand, but also good for my audience and serves the community I'm trying to, I guess, like garner here. Sorry, that's a very
how did
complicated answer.
No, it's a good
answer.
And like, so what was your like family's take on all this? Like, did you have were your parents supportive? Were like, what are you doing with your life? Like, what?
I was shocked to find out that my parents watch my stream.
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. I really don't want my
Yeah.
parents watching my stream.
Yeah, my dad watches my stream all the time. So does my mom. And although I was like worried, I was like, oh gosh, like, what do you think of it? My mom was like, I love when some loser comes in your chat and says some shit to you and you roast him. I'm like, get him, baby.
Oh, your mom's so sweet. Your mom seems like just super cool.
Yeah. And even
Yeah.
now, like every time I'm nervous about something, like even the first time I was on Dimension 20 and I was like, oh gosh, I feel like my imposter syndrome kicking in. And she's like, imposter syndrome? I was like, yeah, because, I'm sitting in Brennan's seat and he's this famous DM. And she's like, you're prettier and smarter and talented. And she's like, don't be intimidated of that random guy. And I was like, only my mom would be like, that's some random guy. This is my baby. She's gorgeous. And she was a debate captain and valedictorian. Like,
Yeah, take that, Brennan.
And so like, that's
Brennan
my
is very
mom,
pretty, though.
because my mom's just like, whatever. I mean, like, and it actually
Right.
is
Yeah.
nice to have somebody in my corner
Yeah.
that kind of gives me a reality check in that way. And I don't mean that everything that my mom says is true, but like, I think sometimes we're coached to be like, oh, we're people of color, we're Desi, we're downtrodden. And having someone like my mom be like, you're pretty and you're smart and you're well spoken. These white guys need the handout, not you. You could roast, you could take their job, you could eat their lunch. And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
That's
Because
sick,
I
yeah.
think
So
like you
she's
stop
like-
looking down on yourself and looking at everything as, oh, I'm only getting this because I'm a minority. Because she'll always be like, no, you're getting it because you set the stage on fire and you're a rock star. And I'm like,
She's like your
Thanks,
hype
Mom.
man. She's your hype man.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. That's amazing to have like, you know, a pillar of your life like your mom be such a hype man. That's really incredible, especially going into a creative field. Like, was there any hesitation from your parents in that regard, or are you telling me that you're an anomaly that had fully supportive parents all the way through?
I think when I was younger, they did worry about it, like as most parents do, right? Like, because
Sure.
I wanted to be a writer since I was like 5, and I think they were like, you have to have a safety net. And I would be lying if I said me and my parents didn't have a rocky relationship for a long time. We did, but while we had that space from each other, I went and I did it somewhat successfully, if that makes sense. And so by the time like we repaired our relationship, they were like, we're already doing this and paying your bills, so clearly you're very good at it, you know? And I think that was their fear, is that I would be a starving artist that needed to, as my mom says, rely on some mediocre man to get by. Because she, you know, I think like she like being Desi means you see women trapped in those situations all the time.
Right.
Like, you know, being dependent on a guy that doesn't treat them well, or having to like raise kids and, you know, not having an income of their own and being sort of trapped. And I think that was her great fear for me, because in our culture that happens to women all the time.
100%. Yeah.
And once she saw that that wasn't the case, she was like, party, you know?
This is awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So she saw it as like a ticket to your independence, and
Yes.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We should jump to the third eye chakra.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that's a great launching point, because Jasmine, you know, you like you said before, you touch on many industries. You're involved in many industries and many forms of entertainment. And so, you know, someone who has had a lot of experience in India, what do you think are the differences between Hollywood and Bollywood? And do you think those are coming closer? Like, do you think that our cultures are actually getting a little bit more meshed? And is that because of us?
I think it is. I think it is. And I think it is because of us. Because I've noticed that, like, even when you bring Desi people into like D&D, we bring something with us. And it's because we come from like a culture that is so vastly different than American culture. I was actually talking about this recently, where I was like, I feel like you see a lot of Desi people in comedy, and I feel like we're really good at roasting people. And like, why is that? And I was like, because most of us have been roasted since we were like 3 years old. I remember telling my dad, like, oh, Dad, I want to get my driver's license when I was like 15 or 16. He was like, which is like, you don't even know how to drive your 2 feet. How the hell are you going to drive a car? Yeah. And I was like, damn, roasted.
That's a good line. Yeah, that's a good line.
I was like, oh, wow. And he's like, the day I put you behind a wheel and on the street is the day I damn mankind. And I was like,
damn.
Okay.
Just haymakers.
That's sinister.
But the thing is like, most Desi people like have these stories.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
Line after line after
Our
line.
sense of humor is so different. Like the way we joke with each other, the way we chat with each other, the way we give each other the business is so different
Yeah.
than the way they do in Western media.
100%. I don't know if this is the same for you, Omar, but I was raised. Well, I was raised in New Hampshire, which is like just an all-white state. And anytime I get bullied, my dad would not for a second let me feel self-pity. He was just like, he's like, I don't even know if he ever said the phrase like never let him see you sweat, but but it was always like, oh, you got to be smarter and sharper than them. Like you cannot like I'm not going to call the principal. I'm not going to call the teacher. I'm not going to help you in that way. It was like, I'm going to help you come up with better retorts and better, like, ways to combat them with wit and comedy. That's kind of like was the whole thing. It's like, if you can be funny and slay people that way, because also we were not big on like fighting. I mean,
Yeah.
I was 3'4" for like I think until junior year.
And yeah.
So like, I was not fighting anybody. So he's like, you gotta you gotta knock them back with words, man. Like, you gotta be able to do it in a way that, hopefully it doesn't incite violence against you, but like just shows that you're like, you're willing to tango in that way.
Yeah.
And not take any shit and rally other people to your side too, It's like the funniest always kind of like finds a way to survive. So that was the mentality that I was definitely brought up in. I think that's why I'm in comedy now.
Survival.
Anyway.
My mom has a lot of stories like that too.
Self-defense. I do think it came out of self-defense, really.
Yeah, my mom was not about like the self-pitying stuff, and she has stories of like horrible things people said to her, and she would always just kind of retort back. I think like one time this like sort of I think this ignorant dude from the Midwest or whatever was like called her a camel jockey, and she's like, "What the fuck are you, a lawnmower jockey?" And I was like, "That's pretty good."
That's great. That's great.
Redirect that lightning. Wow, that was real quick.
And she's like,
You a
everybody
John
started
Deere
laughing at
dick
him.
rider,
Yeah, everybody started laughing at him, and like it was one of those things where she's like, that's just kind of what you have to do, like, because she was like, the second that you cry or you complain to a supervisor, like everyone almost like unites against you, or you become a problem. They'll be nice to you to your face, but they will move behind your back to like destroy your career.
Yes.
And like my mom knows when people are being racist to me or when I'm being discriminated against, but she would almost like never tell me in the moment because she didn't want that to get ingrained in my mind.
100%. Yes.
She would like have me get through the situation and then years later be like, I'm pretty sure that teacher was just racist. You know?
Right.
Teaching you resilience.
It was one of those things like it doesn't help you. At like when it's happening, it does not help a child to be like, oh, she hates me because I'm brown, right? It doesn't give you the tools to deal with the situation. Right.
Even if you're being victimized in that moment, it doesn't help you to be like, oh, you're the victim. I think
it's about surviving.
It's about
and
resilience.
Then later on,
it's about like you have to experience the discomfort and the pain in some ways and realize, oh, I'm still here and I'm still fine. And that's what like I think the definition of resilience is really. And I think I would say that I feel like my parents did a good job with that. For me, I hope I can do that for my son. Honestly, think about that a lot. Okay, great answer. Third eye is also about, it's all about like kind of getting perspective, maybe looking into the future kind of a thing. And so just looking into the future, what spells should my DesiQuest character equip precisely?
Well, since I was kind of bullying you into being a warlock, Eldritch Blast with the agonizing blast as your pact focus will never be bad.
Wow. I expect you to be like, I'm not letting you cheat, dude. But thank you. Okay, I'm writing that shit down right now.
It's not really cheating because it's just about what every warlock takes.
Yeah, true. I don't think I've ever
blast.
Right. All right, that jumps us right into our topics. Let's go into the punchy punch. The 5 topics for this week. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna this is just like the section where we talk about news that's caught our eye. Some of it weird, some of it kind of Desi specific, some of it just about the goings on of the world. So we're starting in with the World Cup, and this is like an interesting sort of thing that's going on here down in Kerala. The World Cup it obviously is football crazy around the world. It's everyone's or most people are super into it, but you don't necessarily think of like India as a place that's crazy about the World Cup. What we found out was in a Kerala city, there are these gigantic cutouts. There's a huge love for Argentina and Brazil down there. And so much so that there's like a secondary industry, like there's like a market that's like selling Argentina, Brazil, what do you call jerseys and merch and flags and whatever, like and there's like this like internal battle down there of like are there more Argentina fans or Brazil fans? But there are also these gigantic cutouts of players that are on display. Do we have those up? They're insane. So you can see them. Like, this is in a river in Kerala that people have like created, like, and like, look, I guess, you know, India just really loves their like giant statues, right? Like you'll see these like giant statues of Shiva or like, you know, and so now there's like giant statues of like Neymar down it, or these giant cutouts of Neymar in Kerala. It's just kind of a crazy thing. Are you
This
guys
tracks? This tracks.
this tracks to you? This is kind of wild to me.
I will just say, when I was going to school there, I was very much into English Premier League, and I was able to get a Cristiano Ronaldo jersey for a price that would shock you.
In a good way or a bad way, Jasmine?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
In
like,
a
wait.
good way. Like, I know
Okay.
that was bootleg as hell.
Right.
right, because it was like
It's like the
60
equivalent of
rupees,
$3
$2.
American dollars.
A handshake in the first
right.
line of a poem. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
real. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that these will stay there. They'll be overgrown, and then you know, centuries from now, archaeologists will uncover these.
right, just like the Ajanta Ellora caves. They'll like find this like these hidden for 300 years from now. Be like, wow, these guys really worshipped Messi, Lionel Messi. What faction of Hinduism was this or whatever?
These are
yeah.
big, right?
These
like,
are
the perspective makes
Can
it
you
hard,
see?
but
They're
I'm
40
just like,
feet tall. If you look on the left side of the frame there's a little speck.
There's a
That's a
person.
person.
Yeah.
oh, that's a person?
That's a
person on the
person.
left,
That
yeah.
little like person with like a blue shirt on and black pants. That's a person. That's how big these are.
Okay, it just sunk in how big these are.
Yeah, that's what's wild about it.
These are huge.
These are big boys. These are big boys.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, you see these like giant statues of deities, like in
Yeah.
India, like that's like
Yeah.
like a big thing there.
Yeah. Brazil has
and-
a massive Jesus. We have Brazilians.
Right. Yeah.
the
We have a
trade-off,
massive
yeah.
Brazilian. Totally. So yeah, but I love it. I hope that someday India is able, you know, what's also cool about this is that it's sort of fueling interest in the sport, right? Like the fervor has got kids playing it in the street. Kerala is a pretty it's a pretty agrarian area. It's not it's not as packed of a city as like, at least where my family's from in Baroda and stuff like that. So like, there's a lot of space, and in this news story, it talks about how kids are just, you know, using it as pitches to play soccer and sort of, you know, imitate what they're seeing on screen. So I'm like, oh, someday maybe India will have a team that actually is able to compete in the World Cup. And at least for me, like, that's what I always feel like. I love sports, and I always felt like, oh, the only places we ever like globally competed were like tennis. There's like one tennis team,
Field
you know, in the
hockey.
Olympics. Field
Field
hockey.
hockey.
That's right. But there were
Chess.
never chess. Yeah, I guess so. But like Olympic sports and stuff like that, you just never see, you know, India really competing that much.
I actually wrote
and I
my
hope that
finals
changes. God damn it.
paper in phys ed on that. On like the reasons
Really?
behind why, like, I thought that we couldn't, like, it was difficult for us to compete. And one of the
Huh.
things really is, other
Let's
than
hear
like
this.
societal and cultural stuff, it's
Yeah.
access to facilities and also weather.
Sure.
Like,
That makes sense. Yeah.
when it's 120 degrees outside, it's not really, you're not going to have kids practicing all day and running
Yeah.
laps. And so it's more difficult to excel physically at stuff like that. And then lack of like indoor facilities and state of the art facilities, you know, like even in America, this comes into play. Like if you want to, let's say, compete in gymnastics, like your family has to invest money for
lot of
you
money.
to do that. And in India, it's the same, but it's also like the only good gymnastics facility is also 3 states away.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's not only money as a barrier, but also like geographically a
You have to
barrier.
move to Kolkata or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you would
Yep.
have to like move and devote your whole life to it, which is why we don't like, whereas other countries that have similar problems to ours or barriers to ours, their government invests money
Yes.
in paying and bringing up these athletes, and our government doesn't do it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
At least that was the
I'm
case
curious as
back
to
then.
why that piece is, because I would think that like with all this nationalistic pride, India pride, that that they would be like, all right, well, we need to show up on the world stage, and would find ways to invest. I know there's a lot going on in that country, so there's maybe it's just not high on the priority list. I was a gymnast, a competitive gymnast growing up, and the thought did occur to me. I was like, I wonder if I like moved out to India, like would I be like the number 7 ranked gymnast of like could I compete for India? I was never good enough to even really entertain that, but it was a thought that crossed my mind. Like maybe that'd be my way to backdoor into the Olympics. But anyway, all right. Well, that's topic number 1. Do you want to hit the next one?
Yeah, let's talk about it's the holiday season. A lot of people will be traveling. What's the nightmare scenario, right? Your flight gets canceled. What do you do? Well, for these 13 strangers, when their flight from Orlando to Knoxville got canceled, they said, you know what? Let's just all rent a van and drive together, all that way.
Just total strangers.
Total strangers, and they were like, we'll keep a track of this on TikTok, and
There's
we're gonna.
no way I'm doing this. Like,
No?
if this was me,
You wouldn't do
I
this?
don't think so.
With 12 others?
I don't know. Oh,
You
man.
get a here's the thing, you get a number.
Chances of a crazy are so high. You know.
You get that's 13 is also not necessarily known as like the luckiest of numbers
No.
in general.
Yeah, maybe that's why my aversion is that my triskaidekaphobia. That's what I feel of 13.
I think the other thing is like a road trip can test a strong friendship.
Yes.
Yeah,
right? Like
right.
getting 13 bladders to coordinate. Like they probably stopped every 10 minutes because somebody needs to pee. I would have lost my shit at the third stop and been like, God damn it, Craig, why didn't you go with the Texaco 20 minutes ago?
Right. Stop drinking iced tea.
Yeah, like
In the middle of the night on the way to Knoxville.
You have no rapport with these people. So the annoying things
Yeah.
you'll put up with family and friends, would you put up with that with 13 strangers?
I think you know what? Probably.
Versus family.
I was gonna say that you probably are more comfortable around family, so you're able to be quickly more frustrated with them. Whereas like strangers, maybe you're like not willing to be as outspokenly like "fuck you, Craig," as you as you might think. Maybe I don't know. I feel like I'd be like around strangers. I feel like I'd be too much of a people pleaser. But I think I'd be burning up on the inside, being like "fuck you, Craig," which is why I'd be like, I'm just gonna get my own.
Who
van.
decides who gets shotgun and who drives?
That's a very good question. One person did a majority of the driving, but
maybe they were the person that the rental was in their name or something. They do look like they're
Right.
having fun in this picture.
Right. Yeah, they also a lot of them stayed friends. They're like they are like planning on like hanging out and seeing each other. It is this sort of because that was a connecting flight, so these folks are from all different places, but they're all keeping in touch and all. This was a very formative experience for them.
It's very Home Alone, right? That scene in Home Alone with John Candy and when she gets in the back seat
with the band, right?
Yeah, with the band, with the Polka 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 band.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened here. Wow, it happened in real life.
I mean, it's smart if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, it would be cheap when you break up that rental and gas amongst 13 people.
Would you do it, Jasmine?
No, you'd have to pay me money.
Yeah. Well,
I
guess it
have
it
to
blew
drive,
up.
too.
Look at all
'Cause
this press they're getting,
Yeah, because I get car sick with some people's driving. So
this was like in the hundreds of thousands of viewers situation. Does that shift your opinion of the journey, knowing that you might have that kind of viewership doing it?
That's a normal night for Jasmine.
Yeah, that was like I say. That's for Jasmine. That's like,
That's a Tuesday.
like, serious business answer, what is the conversion like? Like, because they're watching him drive in a car.
How many
What
are
is the
subscribing?
conversion to watching him do anything else? So
how many of them are dropping
probably
bits?
drop off immediately after this.
Training for Indian gymnastics. Yeah, it will probably drop off.
Because I think
Retention
of
rates.
conversion a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you retain that viewership when he goes to doing his gardening streams?
hold on. This is a funny quote here. Oh, I just lost it. Where did it go? Oh shit. hold on, I gotta find it because it was damn funny. It was from the sole black man in the group. One passenger Q joked that he, as the sole black man in the group, would be the one to, quote, die first, a nod to horror movie tropes. Okay, dude. One of the passengers, Mexican farmer Adolf Frozy, who along with his colleague Johan had been dubbed definitely Russian spies by the commentators, spoke entirely in Spanish. What is going on here, you guys? What is happening? What is this?
Yeah, CNN, in this article, I do want to be clear, was just like framing device. Who's heard of it? It really is just
weird. We were like a big dysfunctional family, says Michelle. Was fun. Well, hey, look, it worked for them. It worked for them. And I guess, some people got some multicultural exposure to people. I don't know.
That's
Sandeep,
big.
would you do it?
I don't know. It depends on my mood in the moment, I guess. And my initial reaction was like, hell no, I would not do this. But maybe if I don't know, sometimes you like hit it off with people and you're like, oh, these people are really fun. Maybe there's a there there. And I can always just like be like, yeah, I just got to use the restroom at this gas station and then just peace out. Like I got a phone. It's got Uber on it. I could find a way to an Avis.
You Kevin McAllister, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, very strange.
What if someone starts going off on like some strange rhetoric?
Yeah, someone's like super QAnon or something on there.
Yeah,
That would
like
bum me
4
out.
hours in, they start talking about lizard people.
Right.
Oh,
Lizard
yeah,
people I
no.
don't mind, but lizard people doesn't bother me. It's so crazy outlandish. But if they were like, yeah, like January 6th was a triumph, then I'd be like, ah, God, I gotta get out of this car.
And also low bar. Shall we move on to our next news story?
Yeah, we shall. All right. Okay, this is a weird one. As if those weren't super normal. Los Angeles Animal Control grants unicorn license to young girl. I said that weirdly. Los Angeles Animal Control grants unicorn license to a young girl. So this is in the HuffPost. Essentially, a little girl wrote into LA County saying, "Dear LA County, I would like your approval if I can have a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one." So very, very responsible here. Please send me a letter in response. And they replied to the letter with a pre-approved unicorn license. They basically sent it as like this heartwarming thing, like, "Hey, here's a real life letter that we got from a little girl who would like to, express this desire of hers and show it, like," and then so they use it as an opportunity to just shed a little fun and light into the world. Their licensing letter included 5 conditions. 1, the unicorn must be cared for in compliance with all animal caretaking regulations set forth in city code or county code. That makes sense. The unicorn is given regular access to sunlight, moonbeams, and rainbows.
Okay.
The unicorn is fed one of its favorite treats, watermelon. Is that a thing? Unicorns love watermelon?
I mean, it's rainbow turned into a fruit. So I guess that makes sense.
Oh, okay. I got it. Great. At least once each week. And then for the unicorn's horn must be maintained in good health. This requires polishing at least once a month with a soft cloth. And number 5, any sparkles or glitter used on the unicorn must be non-toxic and biodegradable to ensure the unicorn's good health. Wait, hold on. Unicorns should have their own sparkles. You don't have to supply them with sparkles and glitter.
Common misunderstanding, actually, Sandeep.
You're telling me you have to add sparkles and glitter to unicorn?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, isn't it
That's
like
ridiculous.
the pink and flamingos where it's actually due to their diet that they have that? They're not naturally that color?
This is what I'm saying.
So,
yeah,
like, if
it
you're just
should be
feeding them just like unicorn fruit from the store, they're not going to develop the glitters in a domestic unicorn.
Yeah.
You have to do something about it.
If you have to add sparkles and glitter to your unicorn, you're basically, you must be feeding them shit. Like, you're not feeding them enough watermelons, is my guess. Is all I'm saying. No comments on this?
Yeah,
Nobody
I'm
cares.
just, the thing is, here's just the thing I'm trying to figure out is where are we putting the sparkles? And in my head, I've just been trying to paint the mental image, and all I have right now is a bucket that's just being poured on the mane and along the back, and the
Yeah.
unicorn is just like, okay, great, thanks. And that to me is a very, and then you just go in. What I like about this list of things is like I am sort of like this would be a lot of work. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
to maintain a unicorn.
For
It sounds
one
like a lot
little
of fun,
kid?
but yeah. It kind of
And they're
does
just
take
trying
a little bit of the
Yeah.
magic away.
That's right. They're trying to keep it real. All right. Animal care and control of Los Angeles County. They're just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Like, kid, this is going to be work. Okay. You don't just freaking get, you're not just going to be like, yeah, do whatever you want with a unicorn. Like,
How much do you bet
expect
this
to
little
earn
girl
it.
got this letter and was like, never mind, I'll just get a turtle.
Yeah. I was like bummed out.
That would do it for me. That would do it
I'll
absolutely
get
for me.
a
Like,
fish.
can I get this like fun thing? And they're just like, it's not.
There are going to be packs of feral unicorns in that neighborhood in a couple of years when she gets tired of the work.
Oh my God. That's funny. People are in chat really kind of discussing, like, wait a second. I thought they were supposed to poop glitter. And they vomit rainbows. And so there's a lot of discussion going on right now about
Why
unicorn
do they vomit
defecation
so
and-
much? Why would they vomit
Well,
regularly?
here's a crazy thing. Horses
Mm-hmm.
can't vomit, by the way.
I didn't know
Horses
that.
cannot vomit. Yeah.
What
I
does
only
a
know that
horse
from
have to do with a unicorn, Cindy?
good point.
And what
good
can fish
point.
do?
I'm just trying to say, they look pretty horsey, okay? I'm just saying they might be related. They might be related. They're, I don't know, maybe their genus or their class or something might be related. Anyway, Hoverlight feels me. I was just gonna say horses can't vomit. Were you ever
A unicorn child?
a unicorn person? Are you into unicorns, Jasmine?
Me? Cindy, does any part of me make you think that when I was ever like a Lisa Frank unicorn child?
Did you ever want a pony growing up?
No. Never been a horse girl. Never been a horse girl. Was always a wolf girl.
Wolves.
Yeah. Oh,
With
you
a
want a
3
dire
on the
wolf.
shirt?
That makes more
Yeah,
sense.
I was
Yeah.
always a wolf girl where I was
Yeah.
like, wolves are so cool. Did you know that wolves hunt in packs? Did you know that wolves are very important for the health of riverbanks because they kill all the small things that eat all of the vegetation? And when you have an overgrowth in those animals, then the riverbanks erode and the course of the river is changed. The reintroduction of wolves in Yellowstone National Park actually led to a healthier river ecosystem there. Were you aware of this?
you have this
Wolves are
memorized?
vitally important. And
What?
people would be like, yo, you need to calm down. And I'd be like, no, I don't.
You need to calm
The
down and
wolves
take a
are dying.
Sudafed.
Yeah,
Just-
the wolves are dying.
Just so
And
you
then
know,
you'd-
Jasmine.
And then there was another little girl that's like, I like horses. And I'm like, my wolves could kill your horse. You
my,
know?
wolf will eat your horse.
Horses could die and it wouldn't affect the earth. If the wolves died, we'd all die. Like, I was like that kid.
Wow, I did not know that about the wolves, that they were so important to the ecosystem. You're advocating
They are.
for them over bees, it feels like.
They're very important to the ecosystem.
I have a request. When we clip that, can we drop a beat under it? Because that really did
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like a Megan sort of like
Hell yeah.
verse. That was thick. That was good.
Sandeep is confusing Jasmine with Reika's character from The Seven. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Darth Chewie. All right.
That's
Let's
very
move. Let's wait real quick. Omar, were you a unicorn kid growing up?
good. Not a unicorn kid, but I was a
What
horse
was your
girl.
Patronus?
I was
You were a horse?
genuinely a horse girl. I remember one time an older neighbor
Uh-huh.
gave the three of us kids like toy horses that had little brushes. And my mom was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm sure they'll play with them." And then when the door was closed, my mom was like, "Okay, we can find a way to return these or trade these in for something." We'd already opened them up, and we're just like, "No, we're setting them up. We're gonna take care of them." And we just built these little stables, had the horses going. I also grew up like around orchards, so there were horses like around. So I would like
Yeah.
spend time with horses. But yeah, do I have an altar to the film Spirits Down in the Cimarron from DreamWorks in my apartment? Yeah. Will I post a picture of it later about this in reference to this so everyone knows that I have it? Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Will
With
you
two
post it to our
VHSs?
Discord,
Will I post it to the Discord? Absolutely.
where you can join the EffinFunny Discord and go to the ABCD podcast channel and see this very picture?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure. I guess, yeah. If
guess
that's what's
I
going to
have-
have to happen, then yeah.
Guess
If
I
that's-
have to do it now because this asshole said this.
My arm is being twisted. Well,
Well,
let's move on
yeah.
from horses to bulls.
Thank God.
That transition in that picture really does everything.
What are you doing here, Omar?
This is actually a picture of Omar doing what you think he's
in this
doing.
picture, Omar?
Yeah, that's Omar's hand. Yep.
What are you doing?
Listen, this is very important, and what I have a special request to the both of you, if that's okay, for the rest of this segment. I would like all of us to not laugh. There will be some more immature hosts would crack under this pressure, but we're here to deliver the news, so no laughing in this segment.
This is like Dropouts breaking news thing.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, great. I love it.
Hey, German police need our help, y'all, because someone stole 60 containers full of bull sperm, and this is not a laughing matter, because the thing is, you have to keep the sperm very cold. You have to keep it at negative 320 Fahrenheit, and if this gets warm, this will ruin the 60 cases of bull sperm that someone has come in and stolen from a farm. So the police are going around and asking the public for help and assistance with that, which I can only imagine is knocking on doors and being like, "Hey, did you do it? Did I do what? I think you." Don't make me say it.
60 containers of bull ejaculate. And if you did, could you please tell me that you've been refrigerating it?
And then be like, look, we don't need a name. We just want to know it's being taken care of.
Ma'am, we looked through your credit card records. We noticed that you bought several refrigeration systems in the past couple weeks. Several. Yeah, I don't know. That's amazing. So what happened? What did they find it?
There's been no update. This recently just happened. It was
Wait, the bull sperm is still out on the limb? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
This is, according to this article, potentially a very cold case.
Or a warm one. But
No. That's awful.
Yeah. I am worried we might not ever get closure to this story. But fingers crossed.
Hey, ABCD podcast listeners, don't you worry. We're gonna keep tabs on this story. We are
This is gonna be like my NaNoWriMo book
of this situation.
Yeah.
Omar, why didn't you just take one case? Why did you take all 60 cases?
Yeah, Omar, why'd you do that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Between Monday night and Tuesday morning, in the town 90 kilometers out of Cologne, you will find that I actually have a receipt for a I was going to say Hobby Lobby, but that's also incriminating in different ways. So I really put myself in a bind here.
So which one was it?
Was I stealing relics from the Middle East, or was I stealing bull sperm? You'll have to tune in next week to find out.
So wait, I mean, I have so many questions. Why is there a farm that is collecting bull sperm?
Okay.
Why is there a bull sperm bank? Why is that a thing and that's needed?
Jasmine, you want
That's
to
my
take this
first question.
Artificial insemination. They don't let the bulls go and have sex with the cows, Sandeep.
Why not? Why don't we let them fuck? Why don't we let them, they're going to get slaughtered.
Listen,
and
in India,
they live
they
this
let
life
them
in
do it.
captivity. Can we let them get off?
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, Sandeep.
What is wrong with us?
I've been watching documentaries about the dairy industry in the West, and I've since stopped consuming dairy. But they have
This is the
these
problem when you
metal
educate yourself
cages,
into a corner. as my buddy
legitimately
Kyle says.
metal cages that they put the lady cows into, okay? And they have a glove that goes from your fingertips all the way to your arm.
Okay. Go on.
And they fist these poor,
Oh, no.
and that's how they don't let them get together and do the thing, especially
They
because a lot of
fist them
times
to-
they
to-
fist them.
Yeah.
They,
Sandeep, this was a
To-
country founded by Protestants. It is a cultural thing.
and then they also mostly castrate the bulls. They also castrate the bulls a lot. It's not
this is
organic.
awful.
It's a very
here.
puritanical society when it comes to husbandry.
Yeah.
Let me, both of you, would you like
So
to take a
they're
guess as to how many
fisting?
descendants a good breeding bull can have through this process?
What do you mean?
How many bulls and cows will be birthed? How many calves will be birthed from
One bull?
breeding bull? Like, how many kids will this?
800.
That's pretty high. Okay,
15,000.
15,000. Okay,
I don't
you
know, I
both took
figured
this in a
if they're just
a
getting
very
vats-
accelerated
Well, if they're
direction. This is one
freezing
bull.
the
Dude, they're-
sperm.
exactly. They're getting vats of
Omar,
sperm.
if they're freezing it and they have 60 cases, I
All right.
normally
Yeah.
would have said 30, but
Wait.
if they're freezing
Hold on.
cases of it,
Hold on.
Yeah.
800 at least.
Was all 60 cases from one bull?
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm feeling good about my 15,000 number then.
Okay. 15,000 is very high.
Do you have a number?
Yeah, a good breeding bull can have up to 100,000 descendants.
I win. I win.
Yeah, this is Price is Right's rules.
Price is Right's rules. Yep.
100,000
100,000
from one bull.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on this link.
Okay.
this is a very short
question for the hosts
article.
of the ABCD podcast.
Yeah, go on.
How, if let's say I start a reality show, much like that show with Nicole Ricci and Paris Hilton, and I call it the Simple Desi Life, and both you, Sandeep and Omar, are on this show. How much do I have to pay the two of you to be a cow fister for one of the episodes?
I don't know. What's SAG day rate these days?
I'm gonna need fucking double scale at least. That is, yeah.
It's for the show. And I'm the
So
producer,
I
Anand
actually-
okayed all this, and the two of us are standing
yeah.
on the side of the set. We have the big glove ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, guys,
Like the-
$500.
No way. Not even close. Sorry. Not even for a second.
Omar, you're
I take
thinking
that.
about it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gone with the case of the 60 cases of the bull sperm.
Like Omar will do this shit for free. He is like, sign me up. Wait, you're gonna pay me? I don't have to pay you for the experience?
Wow, this is like the first time you make money from improv. You know, it really does change your view on the whole thing.
Like, I just did a podcast. It was a really fun podcast. Shit, I'm blanking on the name of it. But like their whole format was like how much would it like genuinely cost, or how much would need to be paid to do X or whatever. So I like thinking of it like genuinely. Like I think on it, like if I'm being really honest with myself, like to legit, I have to fist a bull until it comes. Is that what we're saying?
No.
Not until
Actually-
it comes.
That's actually very different.
Get there.
Do you know where the sperm goes, Sandeep? Do you know how that
Why
works?
am I fisting it then?
Not what I said.
Wait, why am I
but-
fisting it?
Sandeep, you did
Oh
present the
my
question. You did
Lord.
present the question. Now, is it a new question? Yes, but you did present the question.
Oh my Lord.
Wait, so what's the purpose of fisting it then?
Insemination. Insemination.
This is basic
okay.
cow husbandry.
Oh my
This is
Lord.
basic bovine care.
Okay. I feel I hope
just
it
like to-
comes if I do that.
How
I
do
like
we
to-
determine that with the cow? Do we ask the cow? Like Sandeep, I
I'm fisting
cannot
the cow,
with you.
not the bull. I'm fisting the cow. For some reason, I heard you have to fist the bulls to get them to come to collect the semen. Is where my brain went. Okay. Chat is blowing up.
We have somebody in chat, Yamasen222, who's a veterinarian, so actually has done this as part of their training to become a veterinarian.
Makes
And they were-
sense, yeah.
And they were paying tuition at the time, so they paid for the opportunity. Okay, the point is,
Oh, wow.
how much would it to fist a sacred cow? Essentially, is what we're saying here.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
10K.
So that she has sacred babies.
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah.
And Omar
Yeah.
free.
I'll
No,
undercut
10,000 is
Sandeep.
good.
9,999.
I know that's the next question. You're like, okay, so you really wouldn't take 9,000 for it? Like, you're like, is 10 truly your limit? Is sort of the follow up. Oh God, I think it has to be. I think I need to get like a real rate. This can't be a SAG day rate of like $900, man. No way. 10K.
Well, I think in that case, I would recast the both of you with Kumail
Sure.
Nanjiani
Yeah.
and Aziz. They'll do it for the laughs.
Yeah, I'm sure they will not.
I think
Go for it.
we can get them for a lower
What I
rate.
love though, it's a reality show, so they're still playing us.
Yeah, they're Camille Nanjian will
Excellent.
just be like, "I'm Omar Najam." You
Good
know?
job.
and-
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
I'm
All
very
right.
muscular. What are we doing?
I think we've reached the peak of this
Yeah.
this story. We'll keep you guys posted. 60 containers. They are at large. And so keep your eyes peeled if you are anywhere near the town of Olphin.
Yeah, we know one of you did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. Great. Delvin, you want to take us away to our final
Yeah,
one that
moving
we are
on.
not supposed to know? Yeah.
This is the guy who stole the 60. No, sorry. This is David Rush. He's an Idaho man who breaks Guinness World Records to promote STEM.
Okay.
And he has
We like
recently
this guy.
broken the world record for hanging up 5 T-shirts.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Like
What?
the-
The world record. That's exactly
Wow.
the response you should have. The world record for hanging up 5 T-shirts. I've actually got a video here.
Like
Well,
speed?
We'll show. Yeah,
Okay.
let me
Oh,
just
let's watch
show
the
you.
video.
Well, I'm at the airport, and our
3, 2, 1, go!
That's gonna cost you.
Yep.
Oh.
1678.
That's it?
That's it. That is apparently
like-
currently on record the fastest that anybody has ever hung up 5 shirts.
I think
on
that
a hanger.
my mom beats that on the daily. Like,
So
are
the
you
previous
kidding me?
previous world record was held by Kaito Koizumi of Japan, who set a record of 27.93 seconds in 2015. But now Rush has broken that, setting the bar down to 1678. So if you want to compete with them, it looks to me like there's some room for improvement. But apparently there's a gigantic laundry list of rules about like what you're allowed
A
to do,
laundry
the
list?
arrangement of it. It's not you can't just go like, yeah, okay, hit the clock and start hanging some stuff up. Like the laundry, like the condition of the shirts and the types of hangers that you're hanging them on. Like it's a very exhaustive situation.
Okay.
to do this.
Feels like a very informal setup, honestly. But yeah, I wanted to be more impressed by that, to be honest.
Can we beat this for
Now?
DesiQuest as
Can we
a
beat this
marketing
now?
thing?
That's next
I think we
episode now.
could.
Yeah, that's the
I
opening
feel like
segment.
we could.
We legit could. He even kind of like stumbled in that one. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he hit the bar. Yeah, that's bad form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that's at least 0.2 of a second right there.
That's a
Yeah.
3-point deduction.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's not getting a perfect score. I mean, but okay. All right. Yeah. I feel like we can next week we need to see Sandeep attempt this live, says Critter. Yeah, this area needs way more competition. I agree, Sleazy Mirror.
Maybe
I
that's
think
our
we can
game
do
next
this.
week. Maybe next week our game is the two of you.
Let's do this.
Are you
Match
allowed
up.
to grease your arms for so they move through the air better?
I'll have to check the books.
You should.
Okay.
Yeah, you should.
Page-
We should
page
totally shave
32,
our.
I think, is where they cover the
arm hair.
performance
Bring
I'm
it
enhancement.
gonna
down.
send
Yeah.
you guys those outfits the speedwalkers wear.
Got it.
Yes.
The
Shave
full
our arm
with
arm
the
hair.
helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
So we're
You can, like-
aerodynamic. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you really want to cut through any sort of air friction.
yeah.
My
That's going to be
question is-
important.
For cutting down on time, moving back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go whoosh, grab all the hangers, put in all the shirts, and then it's way faster instead of doing this. Like that's
Yes.
some
Ma-
that's
I think
some
that's probably
I've never
part
done
of it.
housework in my life thing.
Yeah.
Because his
100%
back
this
would
guy's
be
never-
aching if he had to
This
hang
is-
70 shirts. His back would be aching. Why not grab all the
Yep.
hangers? I just beat the world record.
There it is. This is the most
Dang.
Desi response I've ever seen to anything, right? This is the most
Why not
like
just grab them all at once? This guy's an idiot.
you're
man.
gonna have to do
so-
60 of these.
So fucking dizzy right now. He's not being efficient. He's
Yeah.
going back
This
and forth
is-
with it, one wasting time. You do it one time. You don't have to do it over and over again.
Work smarter, work harder. Yeah, it's
Not harder, work smarter. Yeah. Adam Vision suggests that we break the world record for fisting sacred cows instead. I think that's a great idea.
It's
But
the
you're
same
not
energy of that guy.
bringing them to completion, Sandeep.
Well,
No.
You're not bringing the completion. You know, you're part of
Oh,
the
my
problem.
Lord.
You're part of the problem. I just want to give them some joy in their lives. I don't know why I'm the fucking enemy here. I mean, you know. And on that note, I think that's the end of our podcast. Ladies and gentlemen. I think we did it. Podcast number 4 for the ABC podcast in the books. We got Jasmine. I don't even know what that is. Like sort of an embarrassed cry laugh happening. Like sort of a.
I just feel so bad for those sacred cows.
That's right, Darth Chewie. I can't leave a job half done. We will finish to completion. Let's see. Let me get to my page where I say things at the end. Right? That's where we're at, right? We did it. Wait, hold on. Real quick, actually, before we move off this guy beat the world record by fucking 11 seconds.
Yeah.
So that...
Yeah, the previous world record was almost a half minute.
So
He was
this-
taking his time.
Like,
Well, who is
fuck?
you?
What? That
You
wasn't even
can when
close.
you can when there's no one competing. Like
you
that's
know what? This must have been the only person. That is
I have
insane.
the world record for putting 7 of the same highlighter in this desk recording this. I'll record it. I'll send it. I'll get the award. Easy. I took 30 minutes.
But no, but Guinness has to sponsor like the record itself for it to be, you know, a thing. So
Yeah,
I think we
typically you pay them.
can, right. Right. I
So
think
it's
we
right
can.
back to the cow situation. I see.
I do like the idea of DesiQuest in general. Let's find a world record that we think we can beat and do that as a publicity stunt. I feel like that's a thing we should do. All right, listen. To all our podcast listeners, thank you so much. That's our show. Thank you so much for listening. The show is produced by Diego Lanao. The show's technical director and sound designer is Delvin Neville. The show's executive producers are me and Anand Shah. And on behalf of my wonderful co-host, Omar,
Hello.
Najam, Major Mana, and myself, thank you so much for listening. This has been an EffinFunny production. Hey, please check out YouTube, where we are posting all these episodes, and we're going to post our bonus games that we're going to do live with our Twitch right now. I'm supposed to mention video from what? I don't understand that. I don't understand this note, so I'm going to skip it. Ask comments and suggestions, feedback. You guys can email us. Remember email? You guys can email us now. Wow, we're getting so into the future. ABCD Podcast Show at Gmail. And we will, we want your suggestions, feedbacks. We're going to respond to that, maybe. And that's it. That's our show. Jasmine, you're amazing. Okay, bye to the podcast listeners. Bye-bye.
Bye, podcast listeners.
Bye, podcast.
Okay. Are they gone yet? Are they gone?
Yep. Okay, yeah. Last one's gone.
Okay,
Just us
last
now.
one's gone. Great. ABCD email. Nice, I like that. Okay, now we can relax.
ABC
There it is. Let's
email.
loosen the
That's
tie a bit.
Good.
That is actually really good. Maybe we should change our email to abcdemail@gmail.com.
I'm sure that's taken. But that was cute that you were like, we should take that. I'm sure no one took ABCDE.
Yeah. Does anyone have a Gmail invite? For this being the first
Do you
week
still need
that's
a
available.
Gmail invite? Wait, do you need a Gmail invite? Is that a thing?
Originally,
used to be
yeah.
the thing.
That's where I
Yeah.
got mine from. Originally, I had to be
I remember.
invited
No, I
from somebody who had it.
remember that you used to need that.
But
yeah.
can we? But can we invite people to it?
I don't know.
Ah, amazing, amazing. How's everyone doing in chat? How y'all doing? You had a good?
Say
You
hi to
enjoying the show
chat.
so far?
Hold on. I am. I'm just checking right now if I can get ABCD email.
Oh yeah, now we're live. You got to get it now before somebody grabs it.
Damn it, it's taken.
Oh, it's probably somebody in chat who just took it.
To no surprise to Jasmine.
Yeah, can someone take it? All right, so let's see this part of the show. Did you guys like the show? Give us what are your thoughts on it? Should we do better next time? You can send us live feedback right now. Wow, this is amazing. Any bits and stories that the audience wants to follow up on? If you have any questions, now's the time. Otherwise, and then we can answer those rapid fire after we play our game of top 10. Delvin, do you want to
At the
lead
stage
us into top?
for this game we're gonna play.
Also, should we talk about our teams? How we're playing this evening?
Oh,
Yeah,
It's a little bit
that's
different.
gonna, that's gonna be
yes.
part of the setup here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
okay,
Here we
great.
go. Here we go.
Yeah, so
for it.
those of you who've watched previous episodes, we've typically just had Sandeep and Omar at this point in the show, so it's been them head to head. Now we've got Jasmine, and so we're gonna divide things up. Sandeep and Omar are gonna be on the same team. They're on the left side of the scoreboard, and the right side of the scoreboard is gonna be Jasmine teamed up with Chat. So Jasmine's allowed to look at Chat, so your guesses you're putting in there, she can see them. It's still up to her which one she takes, but you can participate, and we can help Jasmine beat both of them.
Choose good guesses, guys.
And hey, everybody at home though, no looking it up. Like honor system. Don't be dicks. Like, come on, use your noggin. Don't use the internet.
Yeah, we've got the power of numbers in Chat, so you really shouldn't have to look stuff up to be able to
exactly.
get this.
You're already way ahead. Yeah.
There's so many people to put answers in there. All right. I have a.
All right, what are we doing here?
I also have a follow-up question after we set up the rules here.
Okay.
This is the top 10 impossible challenge.
Oh, dang. Is that
So
the auto feeder?
every week we do this. We've got top 10 of something that's statistically verifiable, and we're going to take turns trying to guess something on the list. Whichever rank the thing is on the list, that's how many points it's worth. So if you guess the number 1 thing on the list, that's worth 1 point. If you guess the number 10, it's worth 10 points. So the more obscure it is on the list, the more points it's worth when you're guessing it. Each team gets 5 minutes to guess. So when it's your turn, the clock's ticking down. You put in your guess, the clock stops. We see if it's right or not. Maybe you get some points. Goes back and forth. So it's one thing to keep in mind. It's kind of like chess. Like if you see your opponent's running out of time, you can start answering fast just to sort of like put the pressure on them to get them run out of time. Because when their time's up, they're out of guesses.
Okay.
So I have a question on the
winner gets
text
to-
that I've got here.
Oh, yeah.
Do any of you identify religiously as Hindus in any way?
How dare you? Is this the top 10?
Well, because the text here refers to fellow Hindus, and to my knowledge, know whether that is the case for all three of you. So I don't want to read that. I don't want to read that question that way and make that assumption. So.
So I was raised. My parents are quite devout Hindus, and I was raised rather Hindu. And if I had to like pick. If someone was like, pick a religion, gotta pick a religion right now, I'd be like, okay, Hindu. But I would not. I feel like I ascribe more to kind of maybe sort of Buddhist beliefs in some ways, in terms of just like, but more philosophically speaking than
Right.
Don't really ritualistically follow very much, but I do like to celebrate certain like Hindu holidays and stuff with family. So that's where I'm at. And you guys feel free to answer or not answer.
I'm
you know, it's
sick,
your own life.
and I even wore my sick sweatshirt today from the farmers' protest. Yeah, farmers' protest. Support farmers. They feed the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick.
I'm like agnostic. My parents were. My mom's Hindu, my dad's Muslim, and my parents around this time of year would be like, "We're taking you to church, so you know what Christmas is about." And then we would go to church, and I'd be like, "Do we believe this?" My parents like, "No."
I love that. I love
So
that.
that's kind of
Yep.
sort of where we fall on the
That's
spectrum.
So good. That's so good. Like, do we believe
100%.
this?
No. We just want you to
It's
fit
just
in.
a nice story.
Yeah, we just want you to fit in, man.
Listen,
You gotta learn
we
these
couldn't
songs
get
and shit.
tickets to Hamilton. It was too expensive. So we
we're
decided
going
to
to
take you to church because,
The idea of church being that's the Hamilton we have at home.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, so let's kind of set up.
coffee and donuts.
Good question. Good
Yeah.
question.
So the question's probably kind of set up what the top 10 list is about. So the top 10 list this
Oh.
week is the top 10
Religions?
countries with the largest Hindu population in 2022. And we're saying it's numbers, not percentage. So if it's a high population with a low percentage, it's just raw numbers, total number of people there that
Raw numbers.
just raw,
Not
yeah,
percentage.
just
Raw
just
Yeah.
number of Hindus in that country. So,
So
top
hold
10.
on. Like the thing is, I don't want to chat out loud to Omar. Like Omar, I guess let's hit the text or something.
I've got my
right?
first guess.
All right.
So yeah, guess
Can
go
we start
first.
with,
So go
with
ahead.
Jasmine since she's ready to go, or do you guys have some
Yeah.
working out you got to work out?
No, you go for it.
All right, Jasmine, you're on the clock.
Malaysia.
That is
Hey!
correct. That is a very good one to put a guess in for. Malaysia is number 8 on the list, so that's worth quite a bit.
So
Me
may I-
and Anand, they're on the same wave. And that
Can
was,
you-
yeah.
Can you give me a, or can you say what the number is? For Malaysia?
Yes, Malaysia has, as of 2022, 1,940,000 Hindus.
I'm
and
texting you
Sandeep
right
and
now.
Omar, you're on the clock.
Okay.
Well, no. Actually, no.
No,
yeah.
the clock started,
Let's throw that down. Let's throw that down. Why not?
The,
one that you just sent.
The first one. I think
Let's
the
go.
first
Let's
one.
go first one. Let's just lock it down.
Canada.
Sorry,
Oh,
Canada is not
shit.
on the list. Jasmine and Chat, you're back on the clock.
Indonesia.
That is
I stole
correct.
that one from Anand. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, Anand. Indonesia is number 4 on the list. So that's worth 4 points. Population there, 4,210,000 Hindus.
That's high. That's actually pretty high.
Yeah, high enough to be number 4 on the
I mean,
list.
wait,
All right.
which one do you want to do?
Sandeep, you're back on the clock.
Let's go with the second one. Let's go with that second one. That we,
You say it.
yeah.
Yeah, you say it. Yeah.
Okay. United States of America.
That is correct. United States of America is number 7 on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
With
number.
2,510,000 is the population there.
That's lower than I thought. That's
That's
lower than I thought. Interesting.
all right. Jasmine, you're back on the clock.
She's not very cool right now, but she's from there, Sri Lanka, and she's Hindu. I'm talking about MIA.
MIA.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Sri Lanka is number 6.
How much?
Okay.
How much is Sri
Population
Lanka?
of 3,090,000.
Okay.
Sandeep and Omar.
Where does everyone say that they're like now? They're all like kicking it from.
What?
You know, like when like cousins are like, when you're like a cousin of a cousin is like, oh, everyone's moving here. What's the hot spot?
I
What's
would
the
say
Fremont of the world?
I would say it's this maybe, but I don't think they're gonna. If Canada wasn't on, then
I would
don't
love
think.
for that to be. I would love
But
for
I
the
feel
one
like
that you
that's
sent to
the
me.
hot. I feel like that's the hot spot. I mean, maybe this. Maybe this. How about
Okay,
this?
okay. I'm getting a text message to my mind. I was gonna guess that too.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Australia. No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
we're in
Jasmine and
Canada
Chat, you're
land.
back on the clock.
All right, we gotta change that.
Okay,
I think-
Chat's
I
given
think-
me a few, so I'm going to answer one of my own. It's a small country, but I know there's lots of Hindus there. Fiji.
No.
No, I'm
So
sorry.
let's
You
do
can get there
this.
in the
Let's
wrong
do this
numbers.
one. This one that I just
Okay,
put
okay.
there.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bali.
Oh,
I thought that might have
Jasmine,
been
we're back
10.
to you in Chat.
Dang. Okay.
Bangladesh.
Damn it. Took ours.
yep.
That is correct.
fuck,
Bangladesh
we
is
should've done
number
it.
3 on the list. Population 13,790,000.
That was number what?
For
3. Still
I
anyone's
mean,
game.
Should we just do this?
Well, anyone's game.
Yeah, number 9 and 10 are still
I mean,
out
it's
there.
probably
A lot of points.
high, but
That's a lot of
Yeah.
should we go for 9 and 10?
Yeah, if we can get 9 and 10, that'd be great.
You
You know.
have any ideas?
Oh wait. Yeah. How about the one I sent first to you?
Oh yeah, go for it. I like it.
England, the UK.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to give it to you. You adjust it to United Kingdom, so we're crediting that as. And yeah, that's number 9 on the list with 1,030,000.
There you go. Nice, dude.
That is a lot of
Huge.
points. You're right back into this game, nice and close. Jasmine, we're on you.
Okay, so Indonesia, Malaysia did very well for us. I'm going to go with the third place that's got a lot of Indians in it, Singapore.
Oh no.
It's not that big though, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, did not make the top 10.
Or you know what's crazy? Crazy thought?
You know what's
It's a
great?
crazy. It's a crazy thought there.
Let's go with the one you sent before. I do agree that
Okay.
that is, that is in my back pocket for sure.
Okay. Or
All right.
wait, here's one more for you.
I'm waiting. I'm getting a message to my mind. Ooh. Let's go. Let's work down that list in order.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna say Nepal.
That is correct. Nepal, number 2 on the list.
Wait,
Number
number two.
two.
Number 2, 28,600,000.
I didn't think
There's
they
that many
had
people
any.
in Nepal, period? Yo, that is
Okay.
crazy.
A lot of people. All right.
Yeah.
Jasmine, we're back to you. There are 3 left
That
on
My
the
thing
list.
is, I'm trying to get those high value
Crazy.
ones, and India's not going to give me the high value one. So I mean, I got to go with the other obvious choice, Pakistan.
That is correct. Pakistan, 3,990,005.
What? So what number?
That is number 5.
Oh, number 5.
Does that put her over? Because I think once it's 27, we're done. But
Number
Anyone's
10 is
game.
number 10 is still on the list. So
here's an,
We could do
I
it.
back
don't-
at the clock.
I
If you
know,
hit
we can
number
do
10,
it.
you can still bring this back.
I just have a lot of friends from that.
That's
one that I just
that's
put.
one of the hot spots. That's one of the cousins of cousin spots. I have
Yeah.
a cousin who has a cousin from this place.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we do it? Should we go for it?
I want to go. I think
Do you want to play a little safer?
I want to maybe do this one first.
Okay. I'm getting
What do
a
you
text
think?
message to my mind.
And
Okay,
then,
let's go.
Let's go for it. Let's go for glory.
You want to go for glory?
Let's go for glory. Yeah, do it. You say
Okay.
it.
We're guessing Kenya.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Jasmine, we're back on you. You have a
all my cousins
2-minute
of
time
cousins.
advantage here. You have plenty of time to think
So
about
many
this.
friends from Kenya.
I have to agree with Anand. I have not heard of cousins from Kenya, but I've heard of
Oh.
cousins of cousins from Nigeria and Libya. Those are the two countries
no,
that I know
Nigeria
have
too. Nigeria
massive.
too. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to Kenya.
Yeah, I don't know
We're
if
from
that's
Kenya.
my answer.
I
Take
think
a
it sounded
guess.
like it.
Try
It sounded like
yeah,
your answer.
That's true.
You do want to do
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna go.
I'm just kidding.
Are you sure it's not Libya, Anand? Anand hasn't let me down yet. Me and Anand have been on the same wavelength this entire time. Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna go Nigeria.
I'm afraid not.
Should we just go with
Yeah.
okay, Burma or what's it called? Myanmar.
That is correct. Myanmar or Burma. And I actually had a note I was going to accept either one to avoid any political crap associated with your guess. Yeah, it's number 10 on the list. 890,000 is the population.
We did it. We fucking did it. We beat the high.
I mean, take it as one more to guess, and we'll make the difference.
India.
But Jasmine, you're on the
So
clock.
I'm at 27.
There
So
you
I
go.
only lose by 1 point.
28, 27. That's the
Oh
closest
my.
game of this we've had since we've
Yeah,
started.
27's the cutoff. Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Very nicely
Jasmine,
done.
Excellent game. Anand,
Good
excellent game.
Yeah, Anand
Wow.
deserves some of that credit. I knew my first answer was going to be Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Because I
that
knew
was a
it
great
was,
guess.
Yeah.
You came in.
And I
that
knew
was-
Pakistan would be low enough to get me good points and be a sure shot on the list.
Yeah, I didn't think. I
That
thought
was
Pakistan was going to be
magnificent.
2. I don't know why I assumed
No,
that.
I knew.
Doesn't make any sense.
I knew it.
I think about it.
I'm surprised Fiji wasn't on the list. That is one that I'm like,
Fiji's just small, right? Like I guess
Yeah.
in terms of sheer numbers. Because I also thought Bali for sure was going to be on the list, but I guess it is just a smaller island.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Fiji has 261,097 Hindu. As of the most recent stats I can find. Though it's not part of the top 10 list we pulled from, so these may not be as new as 2022.
Right. Like
Canada.
percentage, I bet you percentage Fiji and Bali make the list.
The percentage Hindu percentage in Fiji is 28%. It's
That's what I mean. There's
pretty
a lot
large,
of Hindus in
pretty large
Fiji.
proportion. Just not
Yeah.
doesn't have the raw numbers.
Yeah.
Basically, a third of the population is Hindu.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's got to be.
Omar, I'm really proud of us.
I can't believe it. Comeback kids. We were.
I thought we were going to get creamed by
were wrecked.
No, Burma was a very good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
That 10 point.
Oof.
Fiji
Wow.
is number
Okay.
4 by percentage. If you just go percent population and don't go look at the
Yeah.
numbers, it's number
I
4.
cannot believe Fiji didn't score for me. I know
Yeah.
Anand's saying like you should have slammed home UK and you would have won, but I'm like, but Fiji seemed like an answer
Yeah.
that would definitely be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because literally, y'all, percentage of population wise, it's number 4 on the list.
Huge.
So, like,
Isn't this a
how
fun
small-
game? Isn't this a fun format though, Jasmine? Do you,
Yes,
I
no,
love
this
this
is
format.
really fun. This is really
Yeah.
fun. This is really fun.
because it forces these kind of nuanced like guesses. Because you're like, yeah, I could have guessed UK, but then I'm giving up a guess that I could have guessed the number 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
most
oh,
trivia
it's a
games like
smaller-
India would have been the first thing somebody would guess because that's easy answer, for sure you're right. But it's
Exactly.
worth so few points. It's so obvious that it was
Yeah,
the last thing
pocket it.
left on the list. Nobody wanted to guess it because it's not worth enough to spend your turn on it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I love this game. I love it. It's a very fun, by the way. If you're like, at line in Disney or something like that, like you're just like kind of, need to just
And
or
I
in
was
the
like,
car or
and
something like that.
UK
It's a very fun
wasn't
game
a
for
sure
that.
shot answer. No, I'm not saying it wasn't. You have to remember, and you were also spamming like India.
Wow.
You're trying to go for the high value numbers, and I was sure that like Fiji would be like number 9 or 10.
Yeah,
You
why
were
is-
going for those clutch spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we need those 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
We need those big juicy numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are like, your smaller countries. That's your
Because it was down.
Malaysias and
It
your
was down to
Indonesia.
just number 1 and number 10 was left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 10
Yeah,
were
that's why I
all that was left
figured-
on the board.
So I figured we should just get.
Yeah, go for the
we should
big.
just get number 10. 'Cause
Yeah.
whoever gets 10 wins, basically, is what the game was at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So Anand, don't listen to him for strategy. If he's spamming India at that point, like that's terrible strategy. It's like that's garbage strategy. Anyway,
Excellent game. Good game,
good
Jasmine. Thank
game.
you so much for playing with us.
Thank
gonna
you
say, do we have
for
any other
inviting me. This
things,
was super
Yes?
fun.
Is there anything you want to throw at Jasmine? Anything you want to
Yeah.
let the wonderful folks know?
I don't think so. Party, love each other. We're all gonna die.
That's the merch. That's the merch.
that's the T-shirt.
That's the merch. We watched Bill and Ted's and we came away with a more realistic reaction.
the
That's
T-shirt.
kind of the.
I need to add to the. I just realized now I need to add to the format, like asking the guest to
Come up
pitch
with
themselves to try to
slogan.
top the. They got to top the last T-shirt. I don't think anybody's topping that.
Yeah, good luck to whoever comes after you, because that's very good.
All right, and we're gonna see you Monday, Jasmine. For people that are trying to follow the DesiQuest stuff, we are moving along, and we're meeting as a cast on Monday to chat through some stuff. So things are moving. I know I got nudged. I got nudged on the DesiQuest Kickstarter to like send an update out because it had been a while. So I was like, okay, all right, people want to know stuff. So we're moving and grooving. More updates to come if you're holding out on that. Jasmine, anybody? Who do you think we should raid? Anybody you love out there that needs some love?
Let me look. I love that you asked me that question. Da na 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 na
Let's
na
give them-
na. Da na. This
trying to think of
music
maybe-
might be copyrighted, so I won't do
Gonna
a one
get
for
DMCA'd.
one. What about Persephoroth?
Yeah.
Let's throw it.
Let's get it to Persephoroth. Love that. Delvin, are you set to do that?
Yeah, hopefully I get the right spelling.
Sephi.
Selfie.
Send in Sephi some love. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. This was super fun.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks for losing. That was really great for my ego boost going into the end of the night. So I appreciate you guys taking that game on purpose. I needed this. I needed this win. All right.